Attorney General Merrick Garland testifying before the Senate Judiciary Committee. It's his first appearance before lawmakers since his appointment of two special counsels to investigate President Biden and former President Trump's handling of classified documents. He says he's proud of the work he's done so far.
The health of our democracy requires that the Justice Department treat like cases alike and that we apply the law in a way that respects the Constitution. It requires that as much as possible, we speak through our work and our filings in court so that we do not jeopardize the viability of our investigations and the civil liberties of our citizens.
ABC's Jay O'Brien joins me live now for more. Jay, this is a very wide-ranging hearing with Garland so far. What's the goal?
Yeah, this is his review, in essence. It's the Attorney General being called before the Senate Judiciary Committee to look at everything the Justice Department does. But of course, as you mentioned, Diane, what we're watching for are some of the headlines and how Garland reacts to what's already been transpiring here. Again, his first appearance before lawmakers since the appointment of those two special counsels. We're waiting to see if Republicans push him on that, on the classified documents investigation into both former President Trump and now President Biden. The other thing we're waiting to see is how Republicans question the Attorney General on another investigation that's going on that involves President Biden, which is that investigation into President Biden's son Hunter. We already got a question on that. The Attorney General saying, as he said before and in the past, that investigation into Hunter Biden will remain independent and that the U.S. attorney that's been tasked with conducting it will be independent. The Attorney General saying he will not get involved. But again, this is still early. This hearing's still getting underway, so we're watching it closely to see how he addresses a number of those topics, Diane.
Meanwhile, Jay, the new House Committee on China is warning of a Cold War between the U.S. and China. What do they mean by that, and what else stood out from this first hearing?
Yeah, I was in that hearing last night, Diane, and that was a statement from a witness in the hearing saying that the U.S. hasn't sought Cold War with China, but that we're already in one. This committee's overall goal, it says, is to pull back the curtain on China, show the ongoing U.S. and China relationship and the fraught relationship at times between those two global powers. They want to look at TikTok. They want to call CEOs of major American companies that have business dealings in China to testify before the committee, according to the top Republican and top Democrat on that committee who told us that yesterday. They want to look at the China-Russia relationship. The headline coming out of last night's hearing as the committee unveiled the beginning of its work is that they want to show that confronting China is a bipartisan issue, something Republicans and Democrats agree on. And you saw that in the visuals last night. Every single member of that committee was there, was attentive. Every single Republican and Democrat there, the room full. So clearly the committee saying that their work is important and they're going to continue it over the next few months.
And meanwhile, Jay, the FBI director is talking now about the origin of the COVID-19 pandemic, saying it most likely came from a lab incident in China. How will the committee approach that issue moving forward?
Well, there's a subcommittee in the House to look at the origins of the COVID pandemic, and it's not underneath this newly formed House Select Committee on China. But the House Select Committee on China has told us that they want to look at not necessarily exactly the origins of the pandemic, but what they say was the Chinese government's efforts to stonewall international investigators, efforts they say that are still ongoing to keep those investigators away from determining the origins of the pandemic. That is something this committee hopes to highlight as a broader means of showing that China on the world stage is something that the U.S. has to confront, whether or not it's a competitor or a direct foe. That's still an open question the committee is facing as well.
All right, Jay O'Brien on Capitol Hill for us. Thanks, Jay.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.